and architectural interest, just to sort of sustain that volume of work.
What's the camera doing?
Whatever you want, sir.
Have him swear on a 50 chasing his head.
Right.
And this is all about the waist down. I really wanted the style of the film to feel like it was paralleling our stepfather's mental state. He's someone who was very exact and very proficient. We thought, okay, the film should feel very exact and classic and stable and rigid. We were on dollies most of the time. We were on long lenses most of the time because it felt like you wanted to feel grounded. You wanted to feel the, the weight of these scenes. And as his mind starts to unravel and as his life becomes more and more complicated, so should the feeling of the camera until the camera becomes very sort of frenetic and handheld. Cameras. And 1 second. Set. Set. The mental process is something we wanted to track visually and with sound throughout the film. So there are key moments where you get a glimpse in the fact that he's starting to lose it, but he pulls it back together again. And they're just odd moments like when he's sharpening pencils. He only needed one pencil to be sharpened, and he decided, I'm going to sharpen the whole box. That was actually, honestly, the box of pencils was something that came up totally by accident on the day. We had like a little moment between two scenes, and just the thought occurred to me that if I cut directly from him sitting at the computer to what was going to be the next scene where John Tenney, who plays Jay, rings a doorbell, it'll feel like no time had passed. And I wanted there to feel like it's later that evening.
Hey, look, I told Michael that I would do some checking on you, and to be honest, I'd like some answers. Hey, you hear me?
Yeah.
I remember the coffee shop scene where Dylan asked Penn, or David asked Michael to be his best man. I told Patrick, the director of photography, see if there's a way we can shoot both sides of their conversation simultaneously. And that's often a hardship for cameramen because they're trying to light it in a way that really makes the face more beautiful and more interesting and appropriate to the story. And to do that, you're often sacrificing one or the other, but he figured out a way to do it. It turned out, and this was not any doing of mine, that it was the same coffee shop that was used in Seven, and it was also used in Training Day. So I'm literally putting them in this place where these classic moments in film have happened in this, beautiful, cool little, downtown coffee shop.
And the truth is, I'm really happy you're home. And like I said, I'm gonna make sure you stay home, and this family stays complete, all right?
When I read a script, I see almost every shot. So we went ahead and storyboarded almost the entire movie. And the only thing I will say is there are times when you see it on its feet for real, that you then see options that are better than what you had storyboarded. So that's the one thing that I'll do is create the blueprint of what I know will work shot for shot on paper. So I've got that as a backup. But I'm always looking for ways to improve that, to better that. So she stands up, go ahead, and then wham, he's like there, right.
What are you doing, Kelly?
Right.
Waiting for Michael.
Amber, if you were to step back, that's okay.
Okay.
That'll force him to
I'm
chase
going
you.
in.
Right.
I was just waiting for Michael.
Art of directing is almost lost, I feel. In talking to an actor, that's the art of directing. You have a director of photography to take care of the camera stuff. And Nelson has it. He knows how to do it. He knows how to talk you along. He knows when you need a little nurturing, and he tries to get you a comfortable place so he can throw challenges at you.
Bigger look at the door. Eyes big as he's coming at you.
I hugged his neck the other day and I said, you're such a good actor's director, because he catches little things that I might miss here or there, and it's always very astute. And I love working with directors who really do care about the performance.
He's got a real eye for truth, for a truthful, if something doesn't feel true or doesn't feel honest, let's rework this, let's move this around. And particularly in a film like this, where there are real genre pieces to the movie, it's really even more important to ground that in a real truth.
This is not about body count. This is not about blood, guts, and gore. This movie is scaring you on a much more psychological level.
It's not a whodunit. We know whodunit. It's more about watching something unfold and the kind of cringing tension that you feel, hopefully in the audience, as these unsuspecting members of this family are taking in a man who has just killed a family.
And I also wanted the film to feel like those great domestic thrillers from the 80s and 90s, Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Sleeping with the Enemy, where your worst enemy is living right under the same roof with you. And so that was something we thought this film was a perfect next step in that kind of storytelling.
It is a throwback to the kind of movie I grew up on where, like Jaws, you know what's going to happen. It's very suspenseful. You're waiting any moment for the other shoe to drop. And I think that's always really fun. I think we like to be scared in that way.
Michael?
Waiting is a big part of making these films work. It's the slow sort of twisting of the knot builds tension that you can sort of feel in your gut. It's both satisfying and painful at the same time to watch as an audience member. That's what makes these films kind of fun. There was a great focus, there was a great energy on the set between Dylan Walsh and Penn Badgley, between Patrick Cady, the DP, and myself. There was just a sense that we're all making the same movie, and our ideas as they sort of work together, we're making the film better and better and better.
We think and hope that audiences, when they see this film, will actually leave going, wow, how well do we really know anybody? That they get the sense of creepiness and the subtlety. It's not about the gore here, again. We want it to be more authentic in nature to the extent of life as it happens. Can be kind of scary inviting the wrong person into your house. We want them to feel like it could happen to them.
As time goes on, it becomes more relevant because more and more families are sort of patched together. Stepfathers, stepmothers, kids from different marriages, you know, these sort of patched together families, and you're trying to bring somebody into a very intimate family situation, and they start out as strangers.
I hope women get, particularly with the internet today and all of the dangers that go along with that, I think they get the message to beware. Now that everyone's so transient and disenfranchised from their sense of community and belonging and home, where they know people and people, you have a history with people, you have to be very careful.
You never know. I mean, you think about it, and you think, you know, you live in these nice little neighborhoods and you look around, you don't know everything about everybody, and everybody is only a presentation of what they want you to see of them.
To me, really the best horror is a cautionary tale. And I want people to leave the theater and reevaluate their own relationships and whom they trust in this world and why. To me, that's really the most effective kind of horror, is one that makes you challenge the decisions that you make in your daily life.
We're going to put this family back together, you and me, father and son.
Stepfather.
Stepfather and son.